ready to do, Ben, as the field of late model stock cars now begins to work its way towards turn number 4. Bill Hill puts the throttle down. Green flags are flying, and we're underway.
Hill leads him into turn number 1. He takes advantage of things initially right from the start. Bennett tries to hold out for second. Sperry's got position number 3. Down the back straightaway. Bennett reels him in, but Hill is the man in command. The Monte Carlo looks very strong at the front of the pack. It leads him off the 4th turn. Bennett right there on his back bumper. Sperry not far behind. George the Mad Dog beset. Barely has cut a tire. He comes across the racetrack in the middle of the pack. Everybody misses, and they're on the racetrack. It appears that Bissett might be playing the old cat and mouse game a little bit.
That special feeling that's more than just a memory. Remember, you'll find it at CarQuest.
Green flag is back out. A salute to CarQuest comes to a close, and right at the front of the field is the Turf Products Corporation number 5 setting the pace. Bennett runs in second. He sees the inside suddenly open up. 3 wide is the story. Here comes Scott Foster on the bottom. He puts the Booten & Sons ECI number 22 to the inside. 3 wide, they'll swap a little paint, but Sperry goes in deeper than most. Foster thinks twice of it. Sperry's out in the loose stuff. Can't gather it back as they work their way off the turf. Sperry gets lost in the shuffle. Foster moves up to position number 3. And not far behind is Boisenall with Jim Mavrogiannis. Mavrogiannis, former feature event winners, already up to 4. The Extra Mart, blue and white, number 01, is on a roll to get to the front. Further back in the pack, it is a good battle shaping up as Chuck Zentarski is trying to pick them off one at a time, but it is easier said than done as they work their way back to the line.
Zentarski has a long, long way to go. He is right behind the 51 of Wood right now with a host of race cars in front of him. But Zentarski has the patience of Job, and he can lead them down that long back straightaway for a long time. We've got problems. As the 17 of Larry Pinsent makes contact with the wall down the back straightaway.
While that's happening, the number 78 of Jean-Guy Poulet gets out of shape on the bottom side of the racetrack runs.
Pinsent did a tremendous job. Sparks were flying. He was bouncing off the wall down the back straightaway. Was able to hang onto the race car. Now you can see there. Here they come. Bill Hill once again brings the field off the turn. Down to the bottom, making a very, very strong move is Jim Mavrogiannis, car number 01.
No question about it. When they head into turn number 1, the battle is already on, and Mavrogiannis is already up to 2. But he's not going to settle for position number 2. That just isn't good enough. He wants the number 1 spot. Down to the bottom he goes. Hill holds his line rather tightly as they work their way off the turn. Back to the line. Foster is a factor. As they cross the stripe, it looks like Mavrogiannis is inching into the number 1 spot.
As they head back to turn 1, Mavrogiannis is down low. Foster is really driving with his leg in that thing tonight. He has almost had it around sideways on 2 or 3 occasions. So Scott Foster really, really putting up a heck of a battle tonight. Down on the infield grass, it is Brower. Can he regain control? He does, right at the very edge of the racetrack. John Brower, a tremendous, tremendous stop for him. And it looks like the car just simply will not refire. You can see the light on inside the race car. It just does not want to go out. There it goes. Everyone else will go back to the position that they used or that they were in on the last completed lap. And the green flag is back out. Everybody is caught sleeping, and it takes a lot of work to get this field up and running again, but here they come. It did not take long, and yet now the field is strung out quite a bit. This should make for some very interesting competition as the 8 of Chuck Zentarski now finds a little bit of running room. 3 wide in turn number 3. Zentarski takes the high road. 3 wide, in fact 4 wide off the turn. Chuck Zentarski right up against the wall, drops it down low under Tim Smith. They hook bumper it just briefly, but Chuck Zentarski made the move of the year thus far with car number 8.
He is not going to settle for where he is. He tries to pick up another spot. Slightly off the pace is Perry down the back straightaway. They work their way back to the line. Mavrogiannis is still in command. Foster still got 2. Stakey's up to 3, and early leader, Bill Hill sets in the 4th spot. But keep your eyes on Zentarski. He is down underneath the number 78. He's coming to the front of this class with 7 laps up on the board. He is among the fastest cars on the racetrack.
No two ways about that at all, Ben. He started 20th on the grid. Started position number 20. He is already up to 8th in only 8 laps. He picked up 12 spots in 8 laps as Bojanov goes around with the 36. And it looks like we may go back to caution. Once again, we've got problems in turn 1. We have no choice but to go to caution. The 13
on the racetrack that he credits to his crew. Several times this season, they've had their share of problems, but as a team and an operation, they are among the smoothest, and that smoothness is showing right now. The field goes back to green. Mavlojanis still in command. Foster runs right there to contend. Puts Stakey down to the infield with the 66 Connecticut. Stakey gets crossed up, slides to the infield. He's out of harm's way. Will there be a caution? See what the call is. He is far enough back off the racetrack to not be in any real danger, but it's up to the NASCAR officials. Back to the line. Mavlojanis still leads.
Into turn 1, Jim Mavlojanis, the extra mark car, as Timmy Smith takes a little ride down through the infield in the 81. He is able to maintain the same direction, loses a few spots, but one wants as many points as possible before the checkered flag, or by the time the checkered flag falls.
Green flag is out on the racetrack. Mavlojanis still leading him, but look out, here comes Foster. Foster right there, glued to the back bumper. Takes a peek at it on the outside. Now makes a bid for it. Drop, tap, tap to the bumper. Foster down low. Tries to get the bite. Doesn't happen. We've got the number 13 of Smith going around once again. And it looks like we're going to go back to caution.
And that's exactly what happens.
Some magical formula that you could tell a competitor it was double points after the event was over. Life would be a lot easier, but it doesn't quite work that way. And points are more important than money to a lot of folks. Never could understand why, but that's how it is in racing.
Green flag is out. They head back to turn number 1. Jim Mavlojanis, the extra mark car, out in front. Running in the 2nd spot is Scott Foster. Then it is Bill Hill in car number 5. And look who's already up to number 4 and challenging for the 3rd spot. It is the Polish Rocket, Chuck Zentarski. Off the turn they come. Zentarski and Hill come together off the turn. We're at the halfway point. Back to turn 1. Mavlojanis, car number 01. Foster in the 22. Here comes Zentarski. He's down underneath Hill. Hill is able to pull ahead just a little bit as they head down the back straightaway into turn 3. Zentarski on the low side. Hill on the high side. Off the turn they come, and Zentarski has the advantage. Here comes Chuck Doherty. Art Caruso with the 12, also in to challenge Bill Hill. Hill gets booted up to the high groove. When he does, Doherty and Caruso look for running room down low. It's a real dogfight for position number 4 on the racetrack. Off the turn this time by, it is Doherty who has grabbed the spot. Caruso battles with Hill, and Bobby Skinger and Tim Adams now make their presence felt.
Caruso tries to fight back. It is Doherty who moves into the 4th spot. Hill drops back to position number 5. But Zentarski is already closing up the gap. Foster's going to have his hands full in just a few short moments. And the leader, Jim Mavlojanis, who has also tasted victory in 1991, is setting the pace. But the big question is for how long? Foster has not visited the winner's circle yet this season. He has been close on many occasions. He sets in 2nd. Zentarski among the fastest of the top 3. Look at him close up that gap now. Doherty thinking of those double points. A little bit more cautious, but he still sets in the 4th spot. Hunted down by Hill, Caruso, and another winner this year, Bob Skinger with car number 88 Connecticut.
Caruso takes a peek down underneath Hill one more time, but Hill is able to power ahead an awful lot of engine underneath the hood of the Turf Products car number 5.
There is 5 laps to go. 5 laps remaining in the competition here. It is Mavlojanis there. Foster will give him a run for the money, but Zentarski is knocking on heaven's door. Tapping the back bumper. Here he comes to the bottom, but Foster just sets where he's supposed to on the racetrack. He knows the fact that Zentarski is right there all over his back bumper. The two make contact. Foster suffers the penalty in this one. Zentarski gets away. Foster apparently has a front tire that has went down in car number 22 after turning in a great run. Scott Foster has no luck in this feature event.
17 laps. There are 3 laps left to run. And the yellow flag is...
McLean makes it back out of the pit area. Lights are still off on the pace car. It appears that Foster is still trying to get back out of the pit area. You can hear the engines revved up behind the announcer's tower. He's trying to make a comeback back out. 16 laps are up on the board. He will not make it in time as the green flag comes back out.
Here they come back down to the line, and Jim Mavrogiannis looking to take down his first win, but the last thing he wants to do is see that black number 8 of Chuck Zentarski in the rearview mirror. His best hope is to keep Zentarski at bay.
Trouble now in turn number 1. It looks like the Boisenholt car spinning again. No real problem this time. Everybody's under green. Here's Zentarski. Mavrogiannis guards his spot rather impressively as Zentarski is all over his back bumper. Hill is watching all of this, and Chuck Doherty is now proposing a threat to the top 3. Bedivere down through the infield. 17 laps are up on the board, deep into turn number 3. This time, the popsicle sticks are up. Look at Zentarski just reel it back in. Leo, Bim, Adams, Caruso also considered factors among the top 6 cars as they work their way into turn number 1. It is still Mavrogiannis, the leader of the competition. Final 2 circuit. There is the bid for the number 1 spot. Sparks will fly. What's it going to be? Mavrogiannis still, but it's not over with yet, Russ. There's 1 lap remaining when they get back to the line, and Mavrogiannis is doing an impressive job of guarding and holding on to his position.
He's telling Chuck, if you want it, baby, it's the outside. And Zentarski says, okay, let's go for it. It doesn't work that time, though. Let's see what happens down the backstretch.
Off the second turn, down the back straightaway. They've got it wound up tight. It is still Mavrogiannis leading him. Right there on the back bumper, Zentarski, a tap to the bumper. Sparks fly, tempers will flare. They come off the turn. The fans stand in their seats. It is Jim Mavrogiannis who takes it down by inches over the number 8 of Zentarski. A great run for him. And finishing in the 3rd spot is Chuck Doherty, which will help him expand his point quest at the front of the field. Bobby Skidger has stopped shy of the start-finish line. That's going to be a little costly to him in the rundown, but there's no question about it. 2 wins for the Extramart team. Jim Mavrogiannis has done it impressively once again. Hats off to him. And Chuck Zentarski, a great run for 2nd over the Enfield Motorsports number 02 for Chuck Doherty.
So car number 01 from Wethersfield, Connecticut, Jim Mavrogiannis into victory lane here. That's the extra marked. We New Englanders have a tendency to do that. The extra marked car. Pictures are being taken. Young fellow who has been part of this racing game for many, many years, Jim Mavrogiannis. Obviously, very happy competitor to be in victory lane here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He's out of the race car. Let's hear it for Jim Mavrogiannis. Let's go trackside with Barry Simon.
Jim Mavrogiannis, what a beautiful race. How did you feel about the progress of the race right from the word go?
Well, we got out front. Scott Foster was running real well. He got up behind me, and then caution come on near the end. I saw Chuck Zentarski. I got to give Chuck credit. You know, he runs hard. He runs clean. Chuck Zentarski's the class of the late model racing lately, and I'm very, very happy to beat him. Listen, I have to thank everybody. My wife Kim, my crew, my sponsors, Extramart, Pro Cars, Professional Plastics, everybody, Dave Burnham, he's the one that put us here. He's the one that's helping us set this chassis up Parker Street, use auto parts, Weathersfield Car Wash, the ultimate body. And let me tell you, the horsepower, TA engines, that's number one.
How you've got the breath left to quote all your sponsors, I'll never know, but what a beautiful race.
The sponsors is what makes it happen. The sponsors and the people here watching the race. Thank you very much for coming to Stafford to watch the race. Thank you all the officials, too.
Jimmy Mavliganis, a beautifully driven race. Congratulations indeed.
Thank you very much.